Dame Zaha Hadid, who died today suddenly at the age of 65, created some of the world's greatest and most imaginative architecture. From the Vitra fire station in Germany to the Aquatic Centre for the London Olympics, from the Maxi Museum of 21st Century Arts in Rome to the intimate Maggie's Cancer Care Centre in Kirkcaldy in Fife, which was her very first building in the UK. The Iraqi-British architect was famous for creating exaggerated curves and elongated angles, and personally was very exacting and direct. She once said that women are always told they won't make it. She certainly did. She won the Pritzker Architecture Prize, the Sterling Prize twice, and last year was the first woman to win the Riba Gold Award. Well, Julia Peyton-Jones knew Zaha Hadid very well, because Zaha Hadid was a trustee of the Serpentine Gallery for 20 years and worked all the time closely with her. And Julia herself ends her 25 years as director tomorrow, though she'll be working on some. For you, of course, Zaha Hadid was a great friend, but how did you first come to work with her when she was a trustee?
Well, our former chairman, Lord Palumbo, now chairman of the Pritzker Prize, invited her to join the board. And Zaha was famous for not getting up early, so the only trustee meeting, she only attended 2 trustee meetings, although was very active outside the board meetings. One of them, when Peter turned to me and said, "Shall we talk about the unmentionable?" And the unmentionable then followed by a 2-hour discussion about admission charges, which the board knew I was vehemently against. And she was an amazing visionary, obviously as an architect, as a person, but also an amazing trustee.
You offered her a tiny commission. What happened?
I asked her to do the fit-up of a temporary shop that we had in Warren Street while we were renovating the Serpentine Gallery. And she arrived with Patrick Schumacher, of course her partner, Woody, who's been a very long-standing member of her team, the chauffeur, and 1 other member of staff. And the 5 of them took up so much space there was no room for anything else.
And she didn't get that, but what she did do was she was the first architect to design your annual summer pavilion. I think we can probably see that now. And she was the first architect, and now, of course, that is a very established tradition. But what did she bring to the Serpentine with that building?
Well, we asked, at the time, it was an extraordinary commission. Firstly, it was only going to be up for 1 night. It was to celebrate our 30th anniversary. The Princess of Wales had been our patron and Vanity Fair our sponsor, and both had pulled out. And we asked her to design a tented structure for the same budget as it cost to hire one. And she engaged with this in the most enthusiastic way. She designed the furniture, and it was so remarkably successful that Chris Smith, who was then the distinguished Secretary of State for Media, Culture and Sport, kept it up for the whole summer.
Kept it up. And then let's go on to our last commission for you, which was the Sackler building at the Serpentine, which of course is her only building in central London.
Yes. We decided to take over the former ammunition store, 1805, and it was a very complicated process to secure the rights to do this from the Royal Parks, and so we asked her to design it.
And of course she was charming to them, I imagine.
She was. She took it on with enormous enthusiasm and did a visionary design.
Tell me, as an architect, what do you think was what made her so special?
I think her fearlessness, the fact, the extraordinary restless energy, the fact that everything she did was predicated in drawing and painting. That was really, for me, the very heart of her practice. And the fact that she became ever more confident, ambitious, grand, and extraordinary in the best possible way. So she's built all over the world. But for us, she was never afraid to do projects that were small, and whilst concurrently doing the most ambitious.
For you and for her, what do you think is your most loved building that she's done, beyond Serpentine?
I think 2, really. One is the Vitra fire station, and the other is Maxi. Vitra because it's like inhabiting one of her drawings.
And Maxi, of course, in Rome.
In Maxi in Rome, because it is this extraordinary building which is a kind of series of reveals. And wherever you go, you have another perspective of the building, perspective of the city.
Now, just finally, Famously and very difficultly for her, Taiwan pulled out of the big football stadium. Every country now will wish they had a Zaha Hadid, presumably including Taiwan.
Well, this, of course, is very difficult to say. All I can say for us, we feel enormously privileged to work with her, and long may she reign.
Julia Payne-Jones, thank you very much indeed.